we are on. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. Let me explain to you how B1, B2 works. So if you have been laid off and it doesn't look like you're going to be able to get a conversion into or a transfer into H1B real quickly,
Right.
B1, B2 is a reasonable option. It didn't used to be, but about 6 or 7 weeks ago, government made it clear that they will accept our filing B1, B2 for this interim period. Now, if you have a choice for an H4, I would always go with an H4 if I were you. But let's say H4 is not a choice and B1, B2 is the only choice. I like this option because it allows you to stay in the United States for at least 4, 5, 6 months, maybe more. And the way this works is, I also want to explain to you the process. You will go online. You can Google, Bing, whatever your favorite search engine is. Use that and just search for Form I-539 filing online. Okay, so you can file
Okay.
online. If you are a husband and wife or children as well, it probably would be much cheaper to file paper, the paper version. But if
Hmm.
you are just a single person, go ahead and go to the online filing. Okay.
Okay.
Attach a
Okay.
letter that says the following things. Number one, that I have been laid off unexpectedly, and despite my best efforts, so far I've not been able to locate a job. Okay. Number two,
Okay.
that I have enough money to support myself, and I understand that I'm not allowed to work until an H1B is appropriately approved for me. Okay.
Okay.
Next point would be I've never broken any laws, immigration or otherwise, in any country. Okay. And
Hmm.
I will continue to look for jobs. I mean, so basically, those are the 4 or 5 points you're making. The most important one is I can support myself and that I will not work without authorization. Now,
Okay.
how much time should you ask for? Typically, you should ask for 6 months from the date you file or from the 61st day. And that calculation tends to get, you know, too intricate. I would rather just do 55 days. So starting
Okay.
from 55th day to 6 months. Okay.
Makes
Now,
sense. Hmm.
can you stay in the United States during those 6 months? Absolutely. What is your status? It is called authorized period of stay. So it's like,
Okay.
it's almost like a prototype of full status. You are legal to stay, but you cannot convert from authorized period of stay to another status. So, for example, if your 60 days are over and B1, B2 is
Hmm.
pending, and you get an H1B
Hmm.
approved, government will
Hmm.
probably not give you a change of status. And I'll come to this point. I'm bookmarking this. I want to make a point here. I'll come to this later.
Hmm.
Chances are you can go to a third country, any country. For example, I was looking at Ciudad Juarez in Mexico. The appointment time was only 3 days. So if you make an appointment today, fourth day you can go there for your visa stamping. And I'm not a lawyer in Mexico, but as I understand it, you can double check it. You don't need a visa to enter Mexico if you're coming from the United States. That's why it's so convenient. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can go to a third country, and this is a perfectly acceptable process. It's called TCN, Third Country National Processing. And it is, in fact, the recommended practice these days because there is such an uneven distribution of a caseload in various consulates. Okay. So,
Okay.
point to be made, number one, electronic filing. Number two, 55th day. Number three, you are attaching a letter that explains your situation. Doesn't have to be a work of art, anything basic. Number
Hmm.
four, chances are you're going to have to step outside USA and come back. Number five, you can go to any country of your choice. You don't have to go to India all the way. Now,
Okay.
if your 60 days are over, it is almost certain that you will have to step outside the United States unless, like me, your lawyers argue that look, this man and this woman, they fell out of legal status, although they are authorized to stay, they fell out of full status for no fault of their own. These are unique circumstances, and these are circumstances
Mm-hmm.
beyond their control. There is actually a regulation
Okay.
under the Code of Federal Regulations that says you can, Mr. USCIS, you can excuse somebody being not in full status if it is circumstances beyond their control. So I would certainly argue that give me status, these circumstances are unique. People are getting
Mm-hmm.
very short notices, and right now employers are spooked, they're not hiring. So what is this gentleman or this lady supposed to do? Okay, so
Makes
I
sense.
would
Mm-hmm.
argue, I would try to get you status, but if they don't give you status, that's okay. Just go fly out, get a visa stamp, and come back. Now I want to make one more point before I forget. This is very important. So the
Mm-hmm.
weirdness, the flakiness in B2 is this. If you apply today, ask for 6 months, they will probably decide your case after 8 months. Does that
Makes
mean
sense.
you can stay the extra 2 months? No. What you should do is, heaven forbid, if you are not able to find a job in those 6 months, before the 6 months that you asked for are up, please file another 539,
Okay.
asking for another 6 months.
Makes sense.
Okay?
So even if my B1 B2 is not approved, like just keep on extending the application itself, and
Yes,
I should be good to stay. Okay.
that is correct. Until you get a denial for some reason. If there is a B1, B2 denied, then the whole daisy chain collapses. Then just leave in commercially reasonable time. A couple of weeks should be okay.
Makes sense.
Okay?
And so just to understand if I understood it correctly, so let's say I converted and my B1 like B2 visa is filed already, and now let's say it just happened that I just filed like 5 days ago, and now I found an employer and he's willing to file my H1B transfer. So
Mm-hmm.
in that case, like, do I need to get a lawyer and do that process, like as you mentioned that we could argue that because I was in authorized stay and because these circumstances were out of my control, we like USCIS allows to
Okay.
change my status, or do I have to actually go out and just get the stamp?
Okay. Hold on one
Which one
second.
would be the preferred way?
Hold on one second. First of all, my recommendation B2, lawyers are not really needed in my opinion. Okay. I hope I
Okay.
don't get lynched by the bar for giving bad advice, but in my view, this is a straightforward application. Okay. Number
Okay.
one. Number two, H1B should never be done by yourself, always by a lawyer. Too many things can go wrong, too many moving parts. So any lawyer, I can't think of a single employer who would be filing an H1B without proper knowledge. So whenever
Right.
an employer or their lawyer files an H1B for you, that's when they would make the argument. So you don't have to get a separate lawyer for that. Get my point?
Okay.
So
Yes.
that's
Yes,
a part
I
of
do.
the filing. You can just remind your lawyer that there was this old dude in Washington, D.C. who was saying, you know what, you can argue circumstances
Mm-hmm.
beyond my control, extraordinary circumstances beyond my control. Never know, it might work.
Okay. Makes
Okay?
sense.
Maybe you won't have to travel.
Yes.
And we actually had a litigation in Washington, D.C. During the Trump administration where they declined my guy an H1B within the United States. But that was a very peculiar circumstance. They had another H1B going, but they were also in authorized
Mm-hmm.
period of stay, and the government settled the case and they approved my case. So the point is that there is room to argue here. Don't give up on it. Okay?
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, Rajiv, for the advice, and looking forward to hearing more of these things. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. You can go back to the listening mode and I can let other people in. Upendraji, are you ready to talk to me?
Yes. Hello, Rajiv ji.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon. And then, first of all, thank you for taking my call.
Of course.
My question is like, my wife is on H4 visa right now, and then she's attending college of doing her master's in computer science. And then now, when we try to look on CGI Federal, she's eligible for Dropbox, and then she has booked her F1 visa slot. And also in the meanwhile, since she had past experience in India before coming to US, she has found an opportunity and the employers did apply for H1 but did not get picked. That's another scenario.
Okay.
Having said this, does she have to carry any documents, or does she have to say to USCIS during her Dropbox that that she found an employment and then the employers did file a H1, or does
No.
anything has to be worried
No.
about? What are the documents that she has to
No,
carry?
that doesn't come up, Upendraji. The rules are simple. If they ask you a question, you answer truthfully. Okay? Because concealing information is just not an option. However, you are also not obliged to tell them your autobiography. You don't have to, start from the day I was born and then this happened and Dadiji used to feed me dahi and yogurt and all that. Don't get into all that. Answer questions precisely, truthfully, and without hiding anything.
Because it's a Dropbox, so I don't know
They
what
won't.
exactly
They
the
won't.
documents become.
They won't. So there is no special documentation required. I don't know how many of you are aware that one of the first thing Biden administration did was, which was very welcome, they changed the way F1 visas are given. So I think we should see fewer denials now. Why? Because they said, look, you have to look at students as students. Number one, they don't know what the hell they're doing. Okay? We've all been students. Most of us kind of just go get our degree. They don't have any firm future plans. How do you expect them to tell you they're going to come back and they're going to do this and they're going to do that? All they know is the next 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. So don't anticipate and ask them questions that are beyond their present reckoning. So Biden administration actually loosened up some of the standards for F1. Okay. Now, there is no question in any form. I think the form is DS 160, right? There is no question there that says, have you ever applied for an H1B? There's no such question. There's a question about immigrant visa, but there's no question about non-immigrant visa or non-immigrant status. Are we good?
Yes. Yeah. Yes. And for the documents, they're not even asking the financial proof or anything since she's converting from H4 to F1. So I was like, does she have to drop any of the documents? Because I'm supporting her and she also has a loan. So I was wondering, if I is it required or
Yeah, the DSO would have not issued an I-20 without going over all that. So the fact that she has an I-20, that means the DSO has gone over that. As far as I understand it, they actually look at everything from financial angle. So you have an I-20, just talk to the DSO, make sure that whatever is needed is there, including the documents they suggest. The DSOs are good people to hang out with in these cases.
Okay. Right now she's on H4 and she's doing her first semester, but it's just that starting August she wants to change her status from H4 to F1 so that she can use CPT, OPT authorizations.
So they're not going to issue an I-20 without looking into all these issues.
Perfect.
Okay. So you'll be fine. No
Thank
worries.
you so much, Rajivji.
Good luck. Oh, one more thing.
Your conversations and logical approach.
Of course. One more thing, Upendraji. In case the F1 is denied, again, fingers crossed, it doesn't happen. There's nothing stopping her from coming back on H4. I'm assuming you're on H1, right?
Yes, I'm on H4. She's on H4, and then my kid is born here. Yes.
Yeah, so she can always come back on H4 if something bad happens. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, we have booked for almost 6 weeks. Hopefully, it'll come in 6 weeks with the new consulate.
Sounds good.
In Hyderabad.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Just move yourself down. Hi, Parth. Go ahead, please. I feel like I'm Krishna when I talk to somebody named Parth.
Hi, Rajiv. So, Rajiv, I'm currently in my last semester of day 1 CPT. And due to sudden demise of 2 of my beloved family members last week, I wanted to see if I can travel back to India and come back. And please note that I will graduate in this June 2023.
Okay.
And my US visa has expired in July 2021.
Oh, man. You've been taking classes regularly. Your grades are okay?
Yes.
Look, Parth, whenever you go outside the United States for a new visa, there's always a chance you could be denied. Okay. So let's take a look at your background a little bit. When did you enter the United States? Which year?
In 2016.
So you've been here 7 years, right? So did you do both a bachelor's and a master's here?
No, just a master's, and this is my second master's.
Are you on CPT?
Yes.
I would be very reluctant, because even though CPT is perfectly legal, it is also not very favored by the consulates. So if you can avoid travel, I would suggest that. But if the visit to India is unavoidable and you just cannot stop yourself, then be prepared that they may not give you a student visa.
Okay. Now, Rajiv, I have a second question. I know that CPT has a 50-50 chances of approval and get denied. And and the second thing is that I also got an admission letter from a PhD from this fall, from this late summer. So maybe once my this second master's complete, and if I'm not, then can I travel to India and come back after completing my second master's degree? For example, travel to India on I-20 of upcoming advanced degree, which is my PhD.
Parth, it's very difficult to predict your chances. You've been here a long time, and they don't particularly like people who appear to be almost professional students. So all I can tell you is this is just a guess. Now, strange things happen in the consulates. Sometimes they grant visas where we think they are not going to, and sometimes they don't grant visas where they think they should, where we think they should. So all I can tell you is if you go for a student visa, be prepared either way. So if you go visit India, just be prepared either way. If on the other hand, you're on H1B, then your chances are much, much better. Okay.
Okay. Then can I also travel to third country and get its stamp? Can I do something like this? For example, Canada?
You're going to have the same problem there. They are going to also look at the same issues as the Indian consulate would. The questions I
Because
asked
the reason
you,
why
when
the
did
reason why I'm asking you because I recently traveled to Canada on AVR in
yeah,
December
that's a different
2020.
situation. There you're not getting a visa. Okay, you are just traveling on AVR, automatic visa revalidation. That's a different situation. Okay. Even there, if the Customs and Border Protection started looking into your case, they could have said, sorry, sir, you can't come back in. Go get a visa stamp. That's very unlikely.
So now what is your any recommendation? For example,
Don't travel.
can I be like
Don't travel.
just don't travel?
Get an H1B before you travel. That's what I would recommend. Okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You are very welcome. Okay, now I've forgotten who was here before and who was here after. I think Dhananjay was here before. Dhananjay, go ahead, please.
Hi, thanks, Rajiv. So I have two questions today. So one is the first one is so I already got stamping of my H1 in the month of January this year, and then I switched to a new company now. The transfer is done. So do I need to go for stamping again if I go to India now?
So you have changed companies? Is that what you said, Dhananjay?
Yeah, I have changed the company, and
Okay.
the visa transfer is also done.
Okay.
And but my first stamping is until 2025, I guess.
Okay, hang on. So here is the rule. If you have not violated your status, and then there is absolutely no problem. You can use one company's visa to travel on another company's approval. This is quite clear.
Awesome.
Okay. Good luck.
Yeah, and my second question is: so can I file I-140 with employer B, which I'm willing to join in the future?
Well, future-based green cards are absolutely acceptable. There are only couple of conditions. Number one, the employer must be in good faith, honestly willing to give you a job. Number two, you must in good faith intend to take the job. And number three, the employer must have the capacity to pay you all the time during the pendency of the green card process. So can you do it? Sure, absolutely. Okay.
So is it mandatory that the beneficiary should have an employment with employer B at the time of filing I-140?
No. It's not mandatory that you have already joined them. It becomes mandatory. Actually, it's kind of weird. So technically, if there was no AC-21, which is a law that saves people on 485 adjustment of status, if there was no AC-21, you would be required to join or at least attempt to join the employer after the green card approval. Okay. Why do I say attempt to? What if you show up and they say, sorry, Dhananjay, we don't have a job for you? Okay. I think you would still keep your green card because you tried. Okay. So, but because there is now AC21, now here's this is where things get weird. Because there's AC21, you are required to have that intention, but once I-140 is approved and 485 has been pending 180 days, you can join any employer without joining the future employer, as long as the job is same or similar. Got it?
Okay. Yeah, got it. And so Rajiv, so from the previous meeting, so I was asking you regarding the conversion of H4 to F1. So what is the complication we have in that? So you said like you will be referring something and get back to us.
I don't remember, Dhananjay. I am an old man. I forget things.
I'm
So
sorry. So it's been a month. So
month में तो यार कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच गई दुनिया. आप बताइए what did I talk about? I don't remember.
So I was asking you how easy it is to convert from H4 to F1. So that and
within the US.
Do we have any competition?
Within the US.
Within the US.
Well, I don't know. There is no scale. I can't tell you it's 10 kilogram easy because there's no scale to measure easiness or hardness. But here's what happens. When you apply for an F1, it probably is going to take them 8, 9, 10 months to grant you the change of status. You can definitely keep attending school. That's not a problem. But if you have any internships, etc., that might become a problem. So check with the DSO. I think until the F1 is approved, you cannot start taking CPT as far as I know. And you also cannot do internships, etc. So check with the DSO. Some might be allowed, some might not be allowed. Other than that, there is no complication.
Yeah, I mean, my plan is like, okay, if we join any college on H4, so you can be doing your masters in state, so that she cannot go. I mean, it's for my fiance, so she cannot she don't have to move to another state for doing masters. And then my intention is like I want to file an H1 in the later part actually. So in the future, like I want her to be having a separate visa status.
Yeah, that's probably smart anyway. Yeah, sure, you can do that. Dhananjay, I've got to move on. There are a lot of people waiting, okay?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, bye. Raghavendra?
Yeah. Hi, Rajiv.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. I have attended H1B interview in India with employee and I got 221G and it's been 6 months and there is no bit so far. And now my current employer, his petition also got approved. And now can I go with employer B without withdrawal of employer A?
Well, can you? Yes. Will it work? I don't know. Because typically 221G is issued either because they want to investigate the employer and far less frequently they want to investigate the employee. Far less frequently. Okay. So if it were something totally focused on the employer and you changed employers, that should remove the difficulty, right? That's just common sense.
Yes.
Okay. So the answer to that question is, yeah, it might probably help. That's the best I can do for you.
Okay. So is there any questions on employer A, why it got happened like that?
So are you saying, would the consulate ask you why you're changing employers? Is that the question?
Yes. Yes.
You know, this world is a beautiful place. Any person can ask any question they like, especially the consulates. And the answer is, you got me stuck in a 221G, right? That's why you are leaving that employer.
Got it.
So,
Thank you.
Satyam eva jayate. Always tell the truth. All right?
Yeah, sure, Rajiv.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.
Okay, now I don't know who was next. I think Naresh was next. Naresh, go ahead. By the way, Red Hat is one of my favorite companies. We use Red Hat for all our servers. Go ahead.
Yeah, and unfortunately, for the first time since Red Hat was formed, they have decided to lay off people, and I got impacted. So I just got to know this Monday that I'm part of the team that that they are trying to lay off.
I cannot
Now the question I
believe,
have, Rajiv,
Naresh, I cannot believe that Linux people are looking for jobs. That is unusual.
I'm part of the resource management, Rajiv. So I'm more into the management roles, into
I
the
see.
operations
Okay.
side.
Yeah, managers we don't need.
Yeah.
Workers we need. No, I'm just kidding. Go
Yeah,
ahead, Naresh.
exactly. So
Yeah.
so that's been one of the issue as well. I mean, most of the companies are not ready to sponsor visas at this time. But my question is, Rajiv, I've heard from several people that the grace period is going to get extended from 60 days to 180 days from the last date of employment. But I haven't seen any official notification on that.
Yeah.
So
I've also heard that a spaceship is going to land in Washington, D.C. next week. Well, look, can USCIS do it? Yes. I think they can, because remember I told you earlier that there is extraordinary circumstances clause. They could invoke that clause. I don't know if they could do a blanket 180-day increase, because they would probably get sued by one of those fringe people who are looking for reasons to sue USCIS. But they can certainly make it more liberal for people to be able to get change of status even if they are beyond 60 days. But that does not stop the unlawful presence from rolling. So, can they do it? Probably. Will they be able to do it? I don't know. I think they might get sued and it might get rolled back by the courts. I'm just making a guess here. So, but
sure.
Going back to your question, Naresh, I think B1, B2 is the way to go for most people.
Right. Got it, Rajiv. So yeah, I'll focus on. I mean, they have given me kind of 3 week notice period, so I will still have these 3 weeks plus
Yes.
the 60 days to
Yes.
find a job. The other question I have is, do I just need to get a receipt within these 60 days, or do I need to get
You
an
actually don't even need to get a receipt. The definition of filing is this: you have to file within 60 days. Definition of filing is your papers are physically received by the USCIS with the appropriate forms filled out, filing fees, and required evidence laid out. So it is the filing that is required. Receipt could come a week later, 10 days later, even a month later. We don't care. If you deliver by courier, for example, UPS or FedEx, and you have proof that it was delivered, that's all that is needed.
Got it.
Okay.
And one last question, as you were mentioning about the extenuating circumstances, which is basically applicable for the people with I-140, right? That we can try to apply for a 1 year stay in US. I think there are some rules around it. But my question is,
hang on. Let me cover that for a moment. Okay, that's an important point to cover. Compelling circumstances EAD. Okay. What is a compelling circumstances EAD? So if you go to our website, immigration.com, in the search box, within quotes, type compelling circumstances and hit enter, you will, on the right hand side, see a faceted search emerge. I think we have Solar. So it tells you, are you looking for this content in blogs, in stories, in news, da da da. So just hit blogs. I have a very detailed mind map on what compelling circumstances EAD is. In fact, if you get a chance, just feel free to just share it with people, because there's a lot of misunderstanding about the compelling circumstances EAD. I like it for some people, I dislike it for some others. Being on compelling circumstances EAD puts you in authorized period of stay with work authorization, but it is not status. If you want to go back to H-1B, you'll have to go get a visa stamp. Compelling circumstances EAD will be available for both you and your spouse if you're married, and it can be extended on a year-to-year basis. Okay. Go ahead.
Got it. But the question I have is, do we have any negative impacts with regards to my green card
No.
future?
No.
applied for compelling circumstance.
No, I don't see any negative impact. Okay.
Okay, great. Thank you, Rajiv.
You're
I'm
welcome.
good. Thanks.
Good luck. Okay, so I'm going to go to Balaji first and Twinkle. Sorry, Twinkle. Ladies last. Balaji, go ahead, please.
Rajiv, very good morning. This is the first time I'm interacting with you. So, my only question is that I don't have a clarity on my H1B filing, right? My employer, the through whom I have filed up, he is not giving me any status. So he's just saying that there will be a second lottery result. Is that true, or can we expect that or not?
Well, if you look at just common sense, I don't have to be a rocket scientist to deduce that chances of a second lottery are high. Because think about how many people got selected and how many are really going to file. If there are so many such massive layoffs in the technology industry, which consumes the lion's share of H1B visas, doesn't it sound to reason that we're probably going to have a second round of lottery? I think we are.
Okay. So there is a high likelihood or a probability.
Yeah, I would say so.
Right.
I would say so.
Yeah, and in the past, did we had the same occurrence? Anytime in the last
remember,
few years?
was it the last to last year? We had actually 2 rounds of lottery, not just one. We had 2 subsequent rounds.
Okay.
So we had first lottery, then second lottery, and then third lottery. Okay.
Okay.
So,
and the last question, I'm very new to this overall process H1B. So what are the 2 statuses or 3 statuses which gives clarity? Selected, denied, or how is it?
okay, so selected simply means you are selected and not, hang on, I have to remember this because I never really faced these questions. Our team takes care of all of those things. So there's selected, there is, somebody else might be able to help us better. Denied simply means it's over. You're not going to be considered for this year. Submitted, there is submitted. So submitted means you're just waiting. If there's a second or third round, they'll consider you. Selected means you can apply for H1B. Got it?
Okay, that's what my employer said, submitted status.
Yeah.
So I'll keep hopes, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Let's see how it goes. I wouldn't be surprised if there's even a third round of lottery, because this whole employment situation has become so weird. Don't know how it's going to play out. Okay.
Because of such a turbulence, unexpected things.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Good luck, sir.
Thank you so much.
You are
It's
welcome.
pleasure talking to you. Thank you.
My pleasure. Bye-bye. Haji Twinkle, go ahead. Let's talk to you.
Hi, Rajiv. So I have a question regarding STEM OPT F1 visa travel. My EAD is actually expiring in early Jan 2024, but my F1 student visa will expire in June 2024. I'm planning to travel to India in November and be back by third week of November. So is it fine if I return back to US within like 45 days left in my EAD expiration? I'm planning to do day 1 CPT, but I will just do the entire process once I am back in the United States. Will there be any questions on the immigration regarding my next plan, as I have less days left on my EAD and I don't have any H1 attempts left as well?
Okay. So is this your third year of OPT? Is it STEM OPT?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So Twinkle, I do not know the answer to this question, and I don't have any data to support it one way or the other. I don't know if they will allow it. Common sense say they could question it, but then the law does allow you to finish your STEM OPT. Okay. What if they question you and they say, well, ma'am, what are you planning to do next? And you say, oh, I'm going to go back to school and go into CPT. Could they decline you entry? They could. So it's very difficult for me to predict how it's going to play out. What is your deadline? Which month did you want to travel?
November.
So dekhte hain, November tak we might have some clearer indications of where, because you're not the only one in this situation, plenty of people. So hopefully we'll have a little bit more evidence-based conclusion what the chances are. If other people are making it, you should make it too. I usually keep tabs on these things, and so should you. So there's still time left. Let's see how it works out. Very difficult for me to predict this. I can't really. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna go to, I think Bhargavi was next. Then I'll go to Bhargavi. Rest is random, just in the order I see you. Then Anusha and then Rajesh. Okay, Bhargavi, go ahead, ma'am.
Hey, hi Rajiv. So Rajiv, my question is, again, as you know, that I was also laid off, right? So because of that, I just want to know, like, my termination letter says my last day was 31st March, but my payroll, the last payroll that I received, that says pay period is 3rd April to 16th April. So that was the last paycheck that was generated. So I just wanted to know, like, which one can we consider for the 60-day grace period start? Like, should we consider the last pay stub date or the termination letter?
Yeah, last pay stub date. That's what the USCIS has said.
Okay, so if in this particular case, like, I can say that if the paycheck says my last, like, the pay period was 3rd April to 16th April, that paycheck was for pay period that.
Yeah.
So 16th April can be
So-
considered as my last day.
Yeah,
though the
17th April would be the beginning of your 60 days grace period. Now remember, it is 60 days or the time remaining on your I-94, whichever is less.
Okay, now my H1 is valid until 2024, so that should not be a problem, I guess. Also, so my termination letter specifically says that 31st March was my last day, so that's still fine, right? I can still consider 17th April.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it. Also, I have another question. So yesterday, my perm got approved as well. So is there a way, like, I'm no longer working for the same employer? So do you think there's a chance that that could be saved, or it's waste?
Well, unfortunately, if I were advising the employer, I would tell them you cannot file an I-140 when you've laid somebody off. The only way you can file an I-140, because it has to be done in good faith, if you intend to hire them back. Okay, so if you intend to hire them back, you don't have to hire them back. You just have to have the intention to do so. Then by all means, go ahead and file the I-140. If the I-140 is approved, then you carry your priority date wherever you go. So yeah, that would be great if they can do it.
But it has to be the same employer, right?
It has to be the same employer. Nobody else can file the I-140.
Got it. So with this particular perm that got approved, it has to be the same employer. We cannot continue this process with any other employer, or there's no way of saving that particular perm, right?
It sounds like you are a lawyer. Exactly.
Okay, yeah, that answers my question. So no worries. Thank you so much, Rajiv. It's always been great talking to you.
My pleasure, ma'am. Good luck to you. Acha ji, Anusha Avyukt. Anusha ji, go ahead.
Hi, Rajiv. So glad that I've got to listen to this talk today. I have been I'm on my STEM OPT. I have been a postdoc at USC and a data scientist. And reason I'm mentioning that is because right now my STEM OPT ends in July, and I'm looking for jobs to work till then. But my options for work after that, I'm thinking I can apply for an academic H1B or a CAP exam H1B.
Yeah. Also,
but
Anusha, send
yeah.
me your resume. Let me see if there's any chance of an EB1A or EB1B. Okay.
Yeah, I was actually considering that as my long-term plan. And I don't know if it would be advisable to continue staying in the US to make that a stronger application. And someone reached out to me and said they are willing to offer an H1B sponsorship as well. And I don't know if that is possible because I mean, how can they apply for my H1B now?
Remember, I talked about it at least twice already in the last couple of days, but I don't mind doing it again. You can have a job that is quota exempt. Okay. So the employer does not have to be quota exempt. So if the employer is able to place you at a job that is quota exempt, what is quota exempt? Quota exempt is non-profit research organization, government, federal or state research organization, institutions of higher learning, institutions, non-profit institutions that are affiliated with institutions of higher learning. Okay. So I'll give you an example. This is the example I've been giving. It's the only one that springs to mind. We have a for-profit employer who placed a database administrator to work at the National Institutes of Health. So even though the employer is subject to the quota, the job is not, because it's supporting the essential function of NIH, a federal research institution.
Okay.
Okay. So your question was, how can they apply for an H-1B? Maybe they have a quota exempt job.
Okay, this was like a gaming company, and when they said they sponsor H1B, I was like, okay, like I mean, I didn't expect that from like a gaming company.
Well, I also want to see if you could qualify for an O1. Drop me your resume. We don't charge anything to look at resumes. Just drop it to help@immigration.com. It takes me a couple of minutes. I'll take a look at it, let you know what I think.
Okay, and just one more question. Like, I mean, I'm looking for jobs right now, and if I find something, obviously I can continue if it's a cap exempt H1B.
Yes.
But is there any other way in which, like, just to kind of save time on the flight tickets and stuff, I can extend my stay or apply for another visa so that I can come to country again? Like, I mean, just as a backup option.
Same thing, B1, B2, like it is for everyone else.
Okay, so I don't have to worry about the timing. Like, I mean, I will get the B1, B2 when I apply from India, or?
No. B1, B2 change of status within the United States. I'm recording this call. Go back to the very beginning of this recording and there's a good 5-minute discussion on how to apply for a B1, B2. Okay?
Okay. I mean, I was just confused about, I did hear that, and I was just kind of confused about the timing of when I should apply for that. Like,
before
I get it as soon as...
Before your current status expires, that's when you will apply.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much, and I'll be in touch with you through my resume and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I'll take a look at it. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Rajesh Ghosh.
Hello, sir. So thank you for taking this call.
Of course.
So I got impacted yesterday with the mass layoff. My current situation is like I'm on H1B with an approved I-140 from my previous employer.
Oh, excellent.
And my wife is on H4 and EAD, and she's working. And my elder daughter is 18-year-old in H4 and in college. My current employment end date is 60 days from yesterday.
Okay.
Now, with this situation, I'm trying to line up all the options I have. I know I have heard about I-140 EAD under compelling circumstances. I just wanted to have your advice, like when should I use that option? Is it something at the very last?
You should. No, you can file it even now. Why wait? So do the compelling circumstances EAD right away. Let's see how that plays out. By the way, when your daughter turns 21, she can apply for your green card. It's only 3 years away. You'll get it through her a lot quicker than you'll get it through employment.
My younger daughter is a US citizen, but she is 14-year-old.
She has to turn 21.
21, yes.
I thought you said your daughter was 18 years old and she was a US citizen.
I have 2 daughters. One is 18, one is 14.
But the one who's 18 is not a US citizen, huh?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. So, I would say that compelling circumstances EAD can be tried as quickly as possible. There is, if it gets denied, it's not going to cost you anything in your status, anything over and above what you already have. So just go ahead and apply for the compelling circumstances EAD.
Okay, and if it comes approved, then I can still use my H1B, which I have now, or
you'll have to step outside USA and get a visa stamp and come back, which is not the end of the world.
Correct. And if a new employer, I find an employer with my sponsoring my H1B, I can still.
Yes,
you can. So the I-140 doesn't change anything.
No, nothing changes. Yeah, the compelling circumstances EAD does not damage your I-140 in any way.
Okay, and it doesn't stop my future green card.
It does not.
Sponsoring.
It does not.
situations.
It does not. No harm.
Okay.
Okay.
That was it, sir. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Sankalp, go ahead, please. Sankalp.
Yeah. Hi, Rajiv.
Hello.
So I have a question that I'm currently on my STEM OPT and my H1 is got picked this year, and this was my last attempt.
Oh, wow.
So the thing is, my employer will be filing my H1 in between May to June. That's like before 30th of June. But my visa is getting expired next month in May, and my EAD is getting expired in mid of June. So
Yeah, but
I just wanted.
But you're entitled to your cap extension. So what is the problem?
So I just had a question that in worst case, if H1 gets denied or I get any RFE or something, so, and if my visa or EAD is expired, so is
No
it like
problem.
having a day one
No
CPT in hand is a better option or not?
So between the choices of doing a cap extension and doing
Because I will lose my status, is it after
yeah, see,
my H1 gets denied or
typically
something?
what happens is when you file for an H1 with a change of status, USCIS electronically informs, or it gets informed over at the over at SEVIP, and SEVIP will then suspend your service. Okay, that means you don't have an active service to go back to. So if you wanted to do curricular practical training, they'll restore your service. This is what I understand the process to be. They will restore your service if you show that either your H1B was denied or that it was withdrawn. Okay. So I don't know if CPT is a realistic option. You can talk to your DSO. I always refer people to their DSOs because they're pretty much the drivers of your car. They decide how things work out most of the times. So check with them what they say. You can come back and talk to me again. Okay?
Okay, that sounds good. Sure. Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Thank you, Rajiv.
Good luck, sir. Good luck. Rohit, go ahead, please, Rohit. This is Rohit Sai. I saw him first. Rohit Sai. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Rajiv. Thanks for connecting the sessions.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm working for company A and my H1 got picked with company B. So, like, what is the earliest date I need to be like on their payroll or like?
Well, October 1st is the joining time, right? That's when you have to do it. You can't do
Yeah,
it
but
any.
they're sending. Yeah, but they're telling to send the packet and they need pay stubs from their company. Like
No. That's nonsense. Look, you just have to prove that you are maintaining status. If you're on OPT, that you have a job and you are working it 20 hours each week at least. But there's no requirement that you should have pay stubs with the company who's getting your H1B processed. No. There's no such requirement.
Okay, that means like I can join them from October, right? If
Absolutely.
my H1 got approved.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So then, like, what are the documents we need to send in the H1 packet, like, for approval?
That's a fairly lengthy question to answer, but I can answer it to this point of view. What do you need to provide? You just need to provide your degrees and maybe your resume. But there's no requirement that you provide that company's pay stubs. You need to prove that you are maintaining status. So you will need pay stubs from whichever employers you worked with during OPT. Okay.
That means I don't like if I don't have employed like client with them also, it's fine, right? Like from October, if I have client, that should be fine, right?
So what you're saying is, can you be without work until October? Is that the question?
With them. I'm
working with A. I already answered that question, Rohit. The answer is no. You do not need to be employed with the October 1st employer. Okay.
And which one is better, Raju? Like going with H1 or constant H1?
I think doing a change of status is a better idea. Least amount of discomfort in my view. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much, Raju.
You're welcome. Good luck. Rohit Ganguru, go ahead, sir. Rohit Ganguru. Okay. Viral.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
My current employer have decided not to continue with my employment.
Okay.
But they're gonna sponsor my H1B visa because it has been picked up in the lottery.
Okay.
So, sir, my question is like, can I join any other company on my OPT or EAD before my H1 gets approved?
So until your H1 gets approved, your OPT is alive and well. Absolutely, you can join any company. So let's say there are three companies. Company A you are working with, company B that you want to join, and company C is the one applying for H1B. This is a perfectly acceptable cast of characters. No problem.
Okay.
Okay.
And one more thing, like, basically, I have two US visas. First time I came in 2021, but because of COVID, my parents were not well. So I need to go back within 3 months. And I stayed more than 3 months in India. So I applied for a second time United States visa, and the US consulate allowed me for a drop off box facility. So I just sent my passport and they sent me again. And so I have more than 7 or 8 I-20s because of that two programs that I was enrolled. So will there be any potential problem for filing an H1?
For H1B, these things are not really that much of a problem. As long as there is no misrepresentation anywhere in your background, H1B is not an issue.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And
Viral, I've got to move on. Guys, please keep your questions down to the very, very important because we have a bunch of people waiting. And we have these calls every Thursday. You're welcome back. Next Thursday would be on our conference line. So, Viral, I'll answer one more question for you and then I'll move on, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Raju sir. Now, can you please tell me like what domain I should keep for my H1B because I'm super confused for my resume because I studied Master of Science in Project Management and I have construction experience, IT experience, healthcare experience, right now with
Yes,
me.
that's where, Viral, that's where your lawyers come in, right? Because I always give my own example. My first degree is in biology and chemistry. So I could qualify for an H1B as a biologist. And then I have I have several degrees in law, so I can also qualify as a lawyer. So I can move from one H1B specialty occupation to another. If I qualify for them, there is no problem. So don't be super confused. Depending upon the job you get, hopefully you have competent counsel, and most lawyers here are pretty good in the United States. You can talk to your lawyers and they'll help you decide what is the right major for the job.
Great.
All right.
In fact, you are my lawyer right now.
So why are you talking to me here? You should be talking to me on a private line. You have complete access to me.
I'm sorry.
So it's not that's funny, Bilal. Just tell Anna to get you online with me. I'll help you decide. Not a problem. Okay?
Definitely. Thank you so much, Raju sir.
You're welcome, sir. Bye-bye. That's funny, actually. Jesus. Okay. Rohit, are you back? Rohit Ganguru? Oh, by the way, Ruchi, I'm trying to pull you up, but somehow I am not able to. Do you mind going out and going in again? I don't know what's going on. Yeah. Rohit? Yeah, Rohit? Can't hear you, Rohit. Kanguru? Rohit? Okay, Suraj, go ahead, please. Suraj?
Yes. So, thank you, Rajiv. I want to know, can I apply for EB1A while I'm currently residing in India?
Yes, of course. We have done dozens of cases for professors, scientists, businessmen, Right now, I'm doing a journalist's case, actors, musicians. So yeah, absolutely, no problem.
Yeah, approximately, can you help me for my budgeting purposes? How much budget should I
Yeah, it's on
allocate?
our fees are on our website. If you ask me what we charge, I have no idea. But if you go to immigration.com and look at the top gray ribbon on the whatever they call it, menu, or what is it called? Yeah, I guess the site menu. Look at the top gray ribbon. It's about us, da da da, and then there's fees. Click on fees, go under the green cards and look for extraordinary ability alien EB1A. The fees, expenses, everything is listed.
Got it. Last question, but very important to me. Let's say if it goes really positive and I get it. I know that for my spouse and my kid, they also get it. But
Yes.
they also do they also give it for the parent?
No.
Got it.
Okay. Good luck,
Thank you.
Good luck, Suraj. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Rohit, are you back with us? Okay, Amit ji, go ahead. Amit.
Good morning, Rajiv. Thank you very much. Your
Yes.
Conversation is always very intriguing and helpful. So my situation is my wife. She was on F1 OPT, and she got picked up in the H1B lottery. She somehow, the current work situation is very dicey, and she might have to move to another job or maybe quit. In that case, I am on H1B as well. So wanted to check. She hasn't. She got the change of status on H1B, automatic change of status, but she has to cross United States border in order to change employer in future. Considering that there is almost a 1 year wait to schedule an interview and get the visa stamping done.
Amit, for H1B?
Yes.
Mexico is 3 days.
I see. Wow. I was like, so we worked in Canada because we had.
No. So you can go to Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, not Puerto Rico, sorry, Costa Rica. You can go to Jamaica. You can go to Bahamas. There are so many countries around here you can go to.
But on the other thing is, we like me and my son, who's like on H1B. He's on H4 and I am on H1, and both of our stamps got expired. Although we have valid I-797 last year. So is it?
Well, you can go to a contiguous territory, which is Mexico or Canada, with just the I-94, as long as you don't apply for a visa and as long as the trip is 30 days or less. Okay. Amit, do me a favor. Just do a web search for the term automatic visa revalidation. You will know what I mean. Okay.
Okay, so she can go and get the stamping in Mexico.
But remember, AVR is not available if you apply for a visa and get denied. Then you can't come back to the US with I-94 alone. But you, if you wanted to accompany her, could.
Okay.
For her, just schedule a visa stamping. I mean, this is something you should talk with her lawyers because I don't know her case. But some cases are, you look at them, you go, this is a 221G waiting to happen. Okay. So, talk to the company lawyers, and you guys should really figure this out with them. They should be the ones helping you. Generically speaking, AVR is available if you don't apply for a visa. So if you wanted to go with her, you could. She would not get an AVR, but you would. You could come back within 30 days. So visa stamping is not taking 1 year in Canada. Only in Mexico. 3 days is what. For interview required cases, 3 days. For the others, I think was like 5 or 6 days.
Can we opt for Dropbox? because we have looking for interview, considering that many people get a lot of 221G and all that. So we usually avoid choosing a drop box option and only go for interviews. It happens quick.
So I don't know what your, like I said, what your wife's case is, Amiji. Have talked with her lawyers, but I think the world is your oyster. You can go anywhere you want. Don't have to go to India all the way. Okay.
The next question I probably will take offline. This is regarding, my current company has filed I-140 on EB2. However, I have like 20 years of experience, and just wanted to understand if there is possibility to convert to EB1.
Yeah, drop me your resume. I'll take a look at it. help@immigration.com. I'll take a look at it.
Okay. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay, Ruchi, I'll come to you after Sandeep. So Sandeep, go ahead, please.
Hi Rajiv. First of all, thank you so much for helping all of us with
of course.
Weekly calls. I have basically two questions. I'll try to complete them fast. The first one is my Perm recently got denied because of a small typo.
Ouch.
For the year of highest degree completed, instead of 2016, the lawyer mentioned as 2, for which I got a denial letter saying the format should be YYYY, which says it is render incomplete and it's been denied.
Ouch.
So since the lawyers anticipated this, which will happen, back in October, they already applied another PWD for me, which is still in the process. But I don't want to talk about that since it takes some more time for me to get the determination issued. But meanwhile, they did apply for reconsideration 2 days back. So what are the chances of getting approval from the CEO on this one?
That's very difficult for me to predict. So you're saying if there's a motion to reconsider or a motion to reopen, is there a chance for success? Look, I think this typo is really too small. They should forgive it. Okay?
Okay.
But I can't predict your chances, Sandeepji. What would I do if I were in your situation? You already have another prevailing wage going. So that's exactly what I would have done. Good lawyers, smart move.
Okay, sure. And second thing, based on my past experience, I had experience working with USGS, NASA for 5 years, and I do have a few papers published, 2 to 3 papers, which has good amount of citations, and also did the thesis in my during my masters. So is it worth pursuing EB to NIW, and does your office help me to proceed? Can I send my resume?
Yeah, you can send me your resume. NIW is a weird bird. It's actually very easy for many people, but it needs rather peculiar set of circumstances to exist. If you want to know more about it, you can just go to immigration.com. In the search bar, type in quotes national interest waiver, and then in the faceted search, just click on my blog entries, and you'll see that there is a what do you call it, a mind map kind of thing, an info map on how national interest waivers work. So yeah, you can send me your resume. I'll take a look at it. Okay.
Sure. The reason I'm asking is I worked from 2015 to 2019 in that field, but after that, right now I'm as a data scientist. Most typically it's an IT and working for a federal company. So I got a gap of 4 to 5 years, and the papers got published back in 2017-18.
Don't confuse national interest waiver with EB1A. So I'll just briefly tell you guys what national interest waiver is. Number 1 requirement, the work that you are doing is in the national interest, not in the local interest or for a company's interest. So for example, if you are working in the academia in a college, and I'm quoting from one of our cases, and you are doing research in immunology. Now you have a PhD in immunology, and you have a job offer from or interest in hiring you from one of the Ivy League schools. When I file your national interest waiver, I show to the government immunology is a very important field for us health-wise in the United States. So national interest, number 1. Number 2, this lady who's filing is fully qualified. She has a PhD. She doesn't have to have huge accomplishments as long as she can do the job. So that's why I said don't worry about that. NIW doesn't require that. And the third thing is there is interest in the United States in your work. Doesn't have to be a job offer, but there are people who say, you know what, we are really interested in working with you, etc. So that's a national interest waiver. It's EB2 category, not the best thing for people born in India, but it is definitely a much easier get than an EB1A or an EB1B. Okay, send me your resume. I'll take a look at it. All right.
Yeah, sure. And one last question is like, my wife is on H4, and one of the employer reached out for the lottery process, and recently her lottery has been picked up.
Okay.
So is it worth like pursuing with that employer since they are ready to file H1B, and it will be as an change of status from H4 to H1. But the thing is, like, she does not have an EAD or she does not have an SSN, but they will be applying as in future employment. So, will the USCIS consider that these things
Are you
like
hang on?
they don't?
Hang on. This is the last question I'm going to answer for you because I've got to move on.
Yes.
So, so you're saying somebody is offering her an H1B as a future job? Well, she can't start working before October 1st, but they shouldn't file an H1B unless they have a specific project. Okay.
Yes, they do have the specific
So
project,
then
and
what is the
her
harm?
experience.
Then what is the harm?
Sorry.
What is the harm in applying for an H1B then?
Does USCIS looks at like SSN or EAD? Like, do they
No. You are putting the hang on. You are putting the cart before the horse. आपने टांगा आगे कर दिया, घोड़ा पीछे कर दिया. No, it's the other way around. Once you get the H1B, that is your EAD, and then based upon that you get your social security number.
Okay. Got it, Rajiv. Thank you so much.
You're very
it was
welcome.
a pleasure talking to you.
You're very
I'll
welcome.
be sending my resume and details
yes, sir.
as soon as possible.
Absolutely. I'll take
Thank
a
you so
look
much
at it.
again.
Yeah. Before I go to Ruchi, Sai Garimela, I tried to pull you up for some reason. This system is glitchy. Ruchi went through the same problem. So when she logged out and logged back in and raised her hand, I was able to pull her up. So Sai Garimela, you might want to step out and step back in. Ruchi, go ahead, please.
Hi, Rajiv. Thank you for talking with me. So I'm actually currently on my STEM OPT second year, and my visa expires next month. And I'm currently on a medical LOA, the leave of absence, through my employer. And I am trying to begin a CPT, but like my health is not yet currently, like it's not like up and going, and they have advised me to like start it slow. But now, as my visa is expiring, I obviously have to start a day one CPT along with the current employer. And I've been trying to move from my current employer from last year, but I couldn't find a sponsor for the H1B, which is why I am like stuck with my current employer for the past 2 years.
Ruchi,
yeah.
Let me back you up a little bit. If you're planning to go back to school, one of the things you can do is you can connect with your DSO and let them know about your medical need. They should allow you a reduced workload, course load. And I don't even know if they might even be able to allow you a semester off. So you can talk to them, and they might need some medical documentation. That way you are maintaining status because you're technically in school, even though you cannot go to classes or all the full course load. Double check with them. I suspect that might work for you.
But I think the CPT we can do online as well, right? It's a hybrid program. So they want me to come to the Kentucky campus like around once every semester, which is like once every 4 months. So that's, I mean, doing CPT is not an issue. Like I can manage working from.
Okay. Then what is?
Yeah, this is day one CPT that I'm talking about.
So yeah, okay, that's fine. So I'm a little unclear about what your dilemma is. What is the problem?
My dilemma is like wanting to like my wish is to do the day one CPT, and my question is, can I begin a day one CPT without an active employment? Because I eventually want to leave this employer.
No. They have to have an employer in the system before they will stamp your CPT.
before. So is there a possibility for me to start, because I think I spoke to one of a friend who did a day one CPT, and he said that you can begin your college on an F1, like a regular F1, and maybe ask them if they can and while you start your college, you begin your classes like a usual person, and while on that you find a new job which suits you, or which for a better company, and after you find that job, then you apply for a CPT in between terms.
Acha, Ruchi, I think they'll have to postpone it to the next semester, as far as I know. I could be wrong about this. Double check. Okay. But I believe if you don't start it in the first semester, you can't start it in the middle of the semester, as far as I know. I think you'll have to start it in the second semester if they allow it. Okay.
So you can like complete 1 or 2 semesters, like, because I'll be needing some time to start the job search and everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so you can, because my F1 is expiring in June as well. Like, it's been 5 years. I finished my master's.
Well, now the
Ruchi, third year of OPT is fine.
The visa doesn't mean anything. When you are inside the US, it is your status that matters, not your visa.
Okay, so like I can get another OPT, an I-20 for a second master's without going to India for an F1 renewal.
Yes, ma'am, you can.
Okay. And if so, and also, like, if I have a valid B1, B2, and if I have to like, because my fiance is here in US as well, and he's finished his PhD and in the computer science, and I wanted to like consult with you like in the future regarding his EB1, EB2, or maybe NIW, if that would be a good case for
I'll
him.
take a look at his resume. No problem.
Yeah, that's high. So he's currently on his STEM OPT now, like first year, and he did not get his H1 picked as well. So I'm trying to find out ways for him. But
we should also take a look at whether he can qualify for an O1. That could be helpful.
O1. Okay.
Yeah, because O1
he finished his master's and his PhD in the States.
O1 is like the little brother of EB1A. EB1A is for green card. O1 is for like an H1B, but it doesn't have any quota and stuff.
Oh, okay. So like not like 3 years, you get it only for 3 years and you only have 3 attempts.
No. Like O1, I don't know how many years, I don't remember. I think it's for forever and ever and ever, if I remember correctly. So but the idea of O1 is it's a lot like an H1B, except that it requires higher accomplishments, much higher accomplishments.
Much higher, because I think he has like some 6 international papers published, but I don't know
that's not enough. That's not enough, but that's not the only thing. Let me take a look at the papers.
Correct. Right. So I can maybe share my resume on the
yes,
site.
ma'am.
And okay, so and the last question would be like, if like in case, because my current situation is just relating the health concerns, and the doctors have advised me to go slow. So if I like decide to not be on CPT and be on B1, B2 till my fiance figures out his H1 or his EB1 or any other way to go through, and if I decide to be on B1, do I have to exit the states and then come back on my valid B1, B2, or can I continue?
Listen to the discussion we have in the beginning of this talk today. I had a fairly lengthy conversation on B1, B2. I think my colleagues will be posting this discussion by Friday or Saturday. You can just listen to this, and you will know what B1, B2 is and how it works. Okay? Good luck.
Okay, but thank you. And for the CPT, I have to have like an employer letter to begin a day one CPT.
I don't know of any other way of making it work, ma'am. They have to enter a specific employer, because they have to enter into what is called a cooperative agreement with the employer. So yeah, it can't be done without an employer. Okay.
Okay, got it. So in case,
ma'am, I've got to take the next call.
I joined a consultancy firm, is that okay?
Ma'am, I gotta go.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay, no problem. Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Thank
good
you.
luck. Let's see, guys. Try to keep it short so that we can accommodate the maximum number of people. Let's see who was. I think Sai Garimala had been waiting for a while. Sai, please go ahead.
Hi, Rajiv. Yeah, can you hear me all right?
Oh yeah, perfect.
Okay, so I traveled to India with my wife earlier this month for a Dropbox H-1B visa extension / renewal. And of course, we both got our visa stamped in a passport as well and received it last week. Unfortunately, my wife got laid off after we got the approval. I mean, she got the approval for a company just yesterday. We have a return journey scheduled for next week. Now, my question is, can she travel along with me?
Okay, first
Even
of all,
though she has an approved H-1B, and the company has said that she's on notice period and will be on the payroll until June.
Well, we are in April right now, so yeah, I think that's okay. Because if her notice period was expiring, let's say first week of May, I would have a problem. But if it is still June, I think it's okay to travel back. Sure.
So the email specifically says that she does not have to do any active work for Amazon, but they will be paying her. Like she will stay on the payroll, and also will have a severance package at the end of the payroll time.
This is a tough one.
Because I was reading up.
Yeah, this is a tough one, Sai. I'll tell you why. If she were actively working, I would say that's it's a proper use of H-1B to come back and work, even if you're going to work for a couple of months. But if she's not even going to work and she's basically getting paid, is it appropriate? Because H-1B requires you to work. I don't know the answer to that question, and I don't think CPP has ever clarified that. If it were somebody in my family, what I would have them do is sit tight in India, try to find another employer, do an H-1B transfer, and then travel on the Amazon visa with the new H-1B transfer.
Okay. And by the way, I have an approved I-140. My visa is approved, and I have my job, full-time job. Is H4 a quicker option than
absolutely. H4. Look, if you are going to miss your wife terribly and you don't want to be without her, then definitely bring her on an H4. That's no problem.
But can she apply for H4 after coming into the United States?
I don't want her to come in when she has only a couple of months of inactive period left. I think I'm reluctant to say that's a good move. I don't know if it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because the USCIS website does not really clarify. As you said, it was a gray area. So, and that's the primary reason why I joined the webinar today.
Yeah, I think it's more towards black than white. So I would say it's a dark gray area because I think it's against you. I would not enter the United States in those circumstances.
Okay, and she is very well capable of applying H4 from India?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. All right, I will not take more of your time. Thank you again so much.
You're very welcome, Sai. Good luck. Thank you for being short. Yep. Okay, now, in the order that I see you, Sai Harsha, go ahead, please. Sai Harsha.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Hello.
Actually, are you able to hear me?
I can hear you just fine. Go ahead.
Yeah, I applied H1 from India in 2023 fiscal year last year, and I went for stamping in the month of November, and I got 221G. I mean, after 6 months of waiting, 2 days back I got a notice that my application went for further review with the USCIS. So, is there any chances of getting approval?
Yeah. There is always a chance. There's always a chance. So, it didn't go for further investigation. Normally, what they do is they've done the investigation, then they send it to USCIS for revocation. Does that sound right? Okay.
Yes,
so,
I mean, they did not mention the word revocation, they mentioned the word further review.
Further review probably means revocation. That's the best I can guess. That's exactly what they do.
Okay.
So when the file gets to the USCIS, within a few weeks or months, they will issue a notice of intent to revoke to your employer. And if the employer is able to give them enough information and the case is approved, then the case gets reaffirmed and sent back to the consulate, at which point they usually issue the visa.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
What is the approximate timeline for these?
I don't know the answer to that question. It can easily be another 6 months.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
That's my question. Thank you so
Good
much,
luck,
sir.
Sai. Good luck, sir. Nishchal, go ahead. Nishchal.
Hey, Rajiv, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Yeah, really appreciate you doing this. So my situation is that I have started a process, EB2 Perm process through my company last year. While I'm on the STEM OPT, and since I am from the rest of the country category, my understanding is that the processing time for the whole process is relatively shorter, so it's not that long.
Yeah.
But even then, the current processing time for the first part of the this process, which is the prevailing wage determination, I think is taking too long. So that was applied in September of 2022. There hasn't been any updates to that so far, and right now I'm like slightly skeptical of the whole process. If that would be completed by the time my OPT expires, which would be July of next year. So my question is, what would be my options if I plan to stay at this company? In the case that the processing time for the perm exceeds the OPT, which is very likely,
Well,
given that if there would be like a RFE or something.
Okay. The theoretical options are too many for me to list in this meeting. But the practical ones are probably only curricular practical training and keeping applying for H-1B. Theoretically, there are a lot of options. I don't know which country you are a citizen of. That could open up some other options, like Australia has E3 visas and Singapore has special H-1B visas. So there's different countries might have different options, and you also might have the option of investing a couple $100,000, getting an E2 visa depending upon which country you are a citizen of. So that's difficult for me to say.
Okay, yeah.
For most people, curricular practical training is the only practical option. Okay.
Got it. So that's the day one CPT that
Yes,
you're
sir.
referring to, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I qualify for any other recommendations that you have.
That's why I said theoretically there are many,
yeah.
practically there may be only one. Okay.
Yeah, I have one last question. Don't want to take a lot of your time.
All right.
What would be my option if I decide to leave the company and join another company that's cap exempt? So H-1B cap exempt.
You'll have to start
so
your.
my understanding is that
Nishchal, you'll have to start your green card all over again. But if they are quota exempt, that's great for you. Sure, go for it. Did you know this is something for you to consider? I won't have enough time to cover it here. But if you get a quota exempt H-1B, you can also have a concurrent H-1B for a quota employer at the same time. That's the weird thing. So you could work for two employers at the same time if you wanted to. Okay? I gotta run. All right? Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So guys, let's try to keep it brief. I would like to answer everyone. So please just boil it down to the most important questions. Rushabh, go ahead please, Rushabh. Yeah, Rushabh? Can't hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, now I can. Go ahead, Rushabh.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for accepting me. So this is for my cousin. So he's in India. He like his some consultancy applied an H-1B and it got picked up. So he got this registration notice, and this consultancy was asking like some few thousands of dollars for like him to apply H-1B. So he wanted to check like how do we like
okay, first of all, any consulting company that asks you money for H-1B filing, they are a bunch of sleaze bags. Okay?
Yeah.
It's blatantly illegal. Don't get anywhere near that setup. All right?
Okay.
Good luck.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead. Did you have something else?
No, the same. Follow up on the same thing. He just so he should not go ahead with the consultancy.
Absolutely not. It's illegal for him to pay these guys, as it is illegal for them to accept that money. Okay? Don't do it.
Okay. Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome. Okay. I think Khyati had been waiting for a long time. Let's go to Khyati. Khyati Ved, go ahead, ma'am.
Hi, Rajiv. Thank you for hosting this call.
Of course.
I'll try to keep it as short as possible. I think so. Unfortunately, I'm amongst those people who got impacted with Amazon layoffs yesterday, and I am. I think my first question is I'm currently in India, so I think from what I heard previously, it seems like you recommend that I don't come back. Even though I have like the 60-day notice period. But then the second question that I had like following on that conversation was, can I do my H4 application while being in India and look for a job at the same time?
Yes, absolutely. What's wrong with that?
Okay. Because, I mean, I know with timelines, they're just very up and downs. I think whatever happens sooner is what I would prefer because I have a home back there. I have my entire family back there. Unfortunately, nobody is a U.S. citizen, so they can't sponsor me.
Yeah, I would go ahead and return on H4, Khyati.
Okay.
Okay.
And then for H1B, like what if I get a job while the H4 application is like going on or still pending?
Well, that's if you have applied for an H4 visa at the consulate. In the meantime, you get a job. You can just ask for ask the consulate to return your passport that you don't want to apply for the visa. But if they do grant the visa, then normally they should cancel the H1. But if they don't, I don't see any problem in traveling on that H1 with the new approval.
Got it. So you're saying essentially like H4 application can be pending, and if I get a job, like I can choose one or the other, whatever happens sooner, and then come back as long as I have a valid.
Yeah, you can just say, please return my passport. I'm going to travel on my H1 visa.
This question that I had was on the USCIS website. It talks about compelling circumstances, EAD. But I didn't see a list of what those compelling circumstances are. Okay. Is that something that I can find online, or can you just elaborate on those a little bit?
You can just, I told somebody just a few minutes ago, go to our website, immigration.com, and in the search bar of the website, type compelling circumstances in quotes. You'll find the information. Go to my blog.
Okay.
So it's like I said, it's a faceted search. It tells you, on one side it tells you the content in a list, and on the other it says, okay, these are the categories, and just click on my blog, so you can look in my blog for that. Okay. I have a mind map.
One last question.
Yep.
One last question, I promise, is how I think I would like to have a further conversation just regarding my situation. What is the best way to reach out to you and just get some immediate?
Yeah, just drop me an email, help@immigration.com, and if necessary, we'll set up a paid consultation. If I can answer the question without charging you, I'll be happy to. Okay.
Thank you so much, Rajiv. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Good luck. Yep. Okay, Naresh Reddy Kola, go ahead.
Hey, hello, Rajiv.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Great, thank you. First of all, thank you very much for hosting this call and helping many people. Like
Absolutely.
So, with the interest of time, I will directly go to my questions.
Ji.
So, my first question is, can someone on F1 CPT work anywhere within United States and take classes online?
Theoretically, but there's a limit to how many classes you can take online. During the pandemic, there were exemptions made, but pre-pandemic and now post-pandemic, there'll be a limit on how many credits you can take. I don't remember whether it is 3 or 4 credits. You can't take the entire education online. So, okay.
Okay, great. Great. And my second question is, so I'm currently in US on F1. I'm doing an executive master's here in US. And I had already sent my CV for EB1 assessment because I already have a PhD and I have enough credentials. So I think you have assigned it to someone in your front desk team. Marty sent me an email.
Yeah, Marty.
But I just would like to know what is the way forward.
Yeah, so basically what happens is, if I feel that there's a resume that needs a little bit of discussion, our members of our team would reach out to you and set up a call to talk to me separately. Okay.
Okay.
And there's
I
no
haven't seen anyone reaching and arranging a call for the discussion. So I just would like to understand the way forward. So
yeah, so just drop an email to Marty if she has not reached out to you. It's frontdesk@immigration.com. One word, frontdesk@immigration.com. Just say, Marty, Rajiv had forwarded my resume to you. What happened to my call lady?
Okay, great.
Okay. I'll talk to you, then I'll take a look at it. Okay. Good luck.
Great. Thanks, Rajiv.
You're welcome. Sarveshwar Singhal, go ahead, please, Sarveshwarji.
Hi, Rajiv. I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you just fine.
So my concern is I'm on F1 OPT and I'm not yet employed. And I was looking for employment. I came across an employer that is not e-verified. It's like a very early age startup. And there are like 3-4 employees. So if I join that company, will it affect my H1B later on, given that my previous employment, like one of the employer was not e-verified?
So one second, back up this a little bit. So when you say e-verify, are you talking about STEM OPT? Because first year OPT, you don't have to be e-verified, right?
No, I mean, I'm not talking about the STEM, it is first year OPT, but later on, like while filing for any future immigration benefits.
No problem.
So they will be checking.
No. There is absolutely no problem.
Okay, and one more thing. So I'm not sure if this is an established company or not. There are like only just 3 to 4 individuals. So will it affect like the company size or if the company is even registered?
Well, for H1B or even OPT, it isn't the size of the company that matters. For green card, it could, but even there, if the company is making enough money, it's not a problem. So the size of company alone is not a deterrent to immigration processes.
Okay. Yeah, that was my question. Thank you.
You are very welcome. Good luck. Okay, let's see who was my next person was Vishal Sachdeva. Vishalji?
Yeah. Hi, Rajiv sir. Question I had was, can you go from F1 to I-140 and EAD?
If you are born in India, no. If you are born in some other country, yeah.
Okay, it's just because of the timeline?
Yeah.
If it's in India?
Yeah.
If it's in, okay.
So,
all right, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, by the way, I have an article on this in the Economic Times. If you Google my name with the Economic Times, you'll come to that article. It talks about how people can go directly from student to green card. Unless you are India born, then you can't.
Got it. All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Good luck. Ranjit Kumar. Yeah, good luck, sir. Ranjit, go ahead, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, Raju.
Good afternoon.
I am on my. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Yeah. So my STEM OPT is ending on June 14th. This is the last year for me. So my employer filed for the H1, but it's not picked up with him.
Okay.
But I also filed an H1 with a consultant.
Okay.
And I work in a civil engineering company, and I did my master's in civil engineering as well.
Okay.
But the consultant is a kind of mixture, like he's into IT consulting.
Okay.
And he's asking me to convert my employer into C2C.
Yeah, I see. I'm always uncomfortable with those situations. Okay. So what I would suggest you do is, if your employer already has a lawyer, the C2C employer, let them talk with their lawyers and discuss this situation. I think this is too difficult a topic for me to cover in this brief conversation. So is it possible? Yeah, it is. Is it recommendable or recommended? I don't know the answer to that question. I would need to know a lot more about the companies. So talk to your employer's lawyers. That's what I would recommend. Okay.
Okay. And one more question, like, I my STEM OPT is ending on, as I said, June 14th. So
Okay.
is that okay if I join in a CPT program that is on July 3rd? Because like I do have some gap over there, like almost 20 days.
Yeah, 20 days should be
Can I start work
acceptable
after that?
because you have that 60-day grace period. Check with the DSO. I don't think this looks like a problem to me.
Okay. Got it, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Rohit Ganguru, I've been trying to talk to you, Rohit. Can you hear me?
Hi, Rajiv. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead, Rohit.
Thanks, Rajivji. I have a question that is, I'm on H1 and me and my wife both got GCAD and I'm working on my H1 only, and by mistake my wife has done E-Verify with her company.
Okay.
So will it have any impact on my H1 if I go for
No,
stamping?
your wife's status violation has. Are you on H4? No, you are on OPT.
No, I'm on H1.
You're on H1. Okay. So you are on H1. Your wife violated her status or apparently violated her. By the way, one second. Akshayji, I can't seem to pull you up. Can you just step out and step back in? Akshay, I've been trying to pull you up. So, okay. So if your wife has an issue with her H4, that should not impact your H1 at all.
No, Rajivji. I think I told you wrong. Like, we both have GCAD, but
Okay.
I'm continuing on my H1 only.
Okay.
And she started a LLC, like company,
Mm-hmm.
and she have done E-Verify
Okay.
of mine in her company.
Okay. Well,
So will it
but
impact my
you
H1?
you have never worked for her company, right? Well, first of all, because you have an EAD, nothing can go wrong. Second, I if you have never applied for her and she just did it by mistake, I don't think that's a problem. Just because you e-verify somebody doesn't mean that they are working for you.
Okay. Thank you, Raj.
Yeah, I don't see it as a problem. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sir. Jitakshi, go ahead.
Hi, Rajiv. Thank you so much for hosting this.
Yes, ma'am.
I had a question in regards to H1B. My husband's H1B was picked last year, and we were planning to go to India for stamping. But since the appointment times are quite long, we were thinking if we could go to Canada or even Mexico.
Sure.
But he is stamping his H1B for the first time.
That's okay.
And I've heard people say like there's risky.
No. You can go to any country. All that is old wives' tales.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's it. Thank you so much.
So actually, every time I see a psychology student, psychologist or psychiatrist, I want to ask them, how am I doing today? I don't think. Okay.
You're doing good. Thank you so much for hosting.
You're welcome.
This. It's really helpful.
Good luck, ma'am. Thank you. I still have a problem pulling you up, Akshayji. I tried. I'm sorry. I don't know what's wrong. या तो बिल्कुल log out and come back in. Okay. Let's go to Rohit. Rohit Pahuja, please go ahead.
Namaste, Rajiv ji.
Namaste, sir.
Sir, I have like 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
Or I just need to pick one important and ask you. I'll try to be as short as possible.
Sure.
Okay. So basically, let's say I work in a company A, and my H1B got picked through company B, and my STEM OPT is expiring on June 30th, 2023. So this is the current situation.
Okay.
So if company B petition my H1 as a future employee, will it hurt my case? And if company B petition my case by showing me as a future employee, then in that case, can I work in company A in my gap period?
Yeah, absolutely no problem. Just coordinate with that with your DSO. So the gap can be for an employer different than the one who's doing the H1B.
Okay, then.
Rohit? Rohit, you got cut off.
Yeah, can you hear me now? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So the second question is, again, it's a continuation of this. If company B wants me to petition my H1B by showing me their current employee, so in that case, can I work in both company A and company B in my gap period?
Into the best of my knowledge, and I'm trying to guess here because I haven't looked at the regulations from that perspective. My guess would be yes, but double check with your DSO. They are the ones who are going to approve the gap.
Yeah. I can give you one information on this. So basically, in STEM OPT, we can work for multiple employees.
No, STEM
It's just
OPT
we
I
need to-
know, but actually cap is an extension of the OPT. It should be the same rules. But you
Yes,
know,
exactly.
immigration law is full of very, very surprising. So might as well check with your DSO before you make the decision.
Sure.
I think
Sure.
you can.
And sure. And one last question regarding day one CPT. That's it. So, as my STEM OPT is expiring on June 30th, 2023, so if I go for day one CPT to maintain my status, and if the session is starting from July 8th, what do I need to do regarding the service transfer? When should I ask for service transfer to my current school, and what other things do I need to keep in my mind while extending student visa on day one CPT?
I have zero information on that. How the schools transfer, what the transferring school does, what the transferee school does. My recommendation would be talk to the school that you are transferring to. They should be able to tell you exactly what they want to do.
So you mean the new school?
The new school.
Okay.
Good luck, Rohit. I gotta move on.
Yeah, that is
All right.
sure. That is from my side. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome. Good luck. Akshayji, I still am not able to pull you up. I don't know what's wrong. Let's try one more time. I tried again, Akshay. For some reason, our stars are crossed. Pratik, go ahead, please. Pratik.
Hey, Rajiv.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, Pratik. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So basically, my EAD is expiring on 30th of June, and I just applied my STEM extension yesterday. So, but the time frame for that period is, I guess, 60 days. So, will that be any problem for me?
So, are you saying you applied too early?
No, I applied yesterday. I applied late for the STEM extension.
As far as you are talking about STEM extension, right?
Yeah.
I am not aware of any reason you can't apply even a day before the OPT is expiring.
So basically, my OPT will be expiring on 30th of June, and I applied for STEM
See,
extension.
the law says you can apply. I think it's 90 days before. You can't apply earlier than that. Okay. But you could apply even one day before the OPT is expiring, as long as it gets there before the OPT expires.
Okay, so will that count like when my EAD will expire? So on 30th June, so will that count like the 60 days grace period or not?
I'm very confused. What are we talking about? Okay, so your OPT is expiring in June, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
30th of May, sorry. 30th of May.
Okay, that's where the confusion is. So, and you have already applied for extension, right? STEM OPT extension?
Yeah, yesterday.
So then you have 180-day grace period after May to continue working. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck. Let's go to Prasumit Nayak. Prasumit, go ahead, sir.
Hi, Rajiv. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes, please. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much for setting this call. Really appreciate you helping all of us.
Of course.
So yeah, I'll keep my question short. So in my organization, there has been a role elimination, and my role is part of that. That's getting eliminated on 30th of April. So I get 60 days of grace period since I'm on an H-1B visa. So I was wondering, let's say in case for any reason I'm not able to transfer to another sponsoring employer within the 60 days. So what's the advice latest date by when I should be applying for a B1 change of status within the 60-day window?
Listen to this discussion the first 5-10 minutes. My recommendation was 55th day would be a good idea.
Okay, 55th day. Thanks a ton.
Yeah.
And one for last question related to this is like, let's say if the change of status doesn't come through quicker and takes long time, and then in between that I get a new sponsoring employer.
All of this is covered, Prasumit. I'm not going to repeat it. All of this was covered today. So wait until we post the discussion. You will have all the information you need, including how to apply, what to say in the letter. All that has been discussed. Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. Avnish ji, go ahead. Avnish Kumar.
Hello, Rajiv ji. Thank you for taking these questions.
Of course.
I will. So let me give you my background. I am on F1 OPT. My EAD expires in July this year.
Okay, 1 second, and, Avnish. I will not be taking any more questions after Mr. Khan, who is the last person. I tried to pull up Akshay, I could not. Nilenji, next week, next Thursday, we are doing a conference again, so we'll talk then. Avnish, go ahead. Please start from the beginning.
Sure. I'm on F1 OPT and my EAD expires in July this year.
Avnish, is that your first year OPT?
F1 OPT STEM extended. So this is my last year.
Third year. Okay.
Yeah. So extended EAD expires in this July 23.
Okay.
And my F1 will expire in 2024. In my case, my employer applied for I-140 and it is approved with priority date in 21. And my employer, I am in, I applied it as my country of birth in India.
Ouch.
So my question specifically is, I am considering day one CPT and day one CPT, since I-140 being approved means like on a lot of forums it is said it can be thought as immigrant intent. Would transferring to other visas when like let's say H1B or H4, would it be thought when I'm changing my status as that I violated my status?
Okay, so no, first of all, when you are applying for an H1B, the fact that you have an I-140 approved is zero problem. Okay. Now, the question is, if you want to go back to day one CPT, would that be an issue? I don't think so. Why? Because you're not going to apply to the USCIS for any benefit. I don't think so. I think it's just the rollover of your service. Again, double check with the DSO. I am always concerned that there are so many processes I might mess it up for you. Double check it with the DSO. I don't think you'll even have to fill any form with the USCIS at all.
Got it. So day one CPT is safe if I have an I-140 in parallel approved.
I do believe so. Okay.
Perfect. And one last question is, I have an option to let's say my day one CPT I don't get picked up next year, and my in second year I get picked up. What would be the process of transferring to H1B and H4, like dual intent visas? would I have to leave the country, or
No.
can I apply for CAP?
If you are maintaining student status, whatever that is, you should be able to convert within the United States. Okay.
Perfect.
Good luck.
That's clear. Thank you.
You're welcome. Khan Saab, Kaleem, go ahead, please.
Hello, Rajiv.
Hello, sir.
So my question is related to 221G. So in past, I got 221G, and eventually it was approved.
Good.
So I'm planning to visit India. So there is one question in the form. I'm confused. What I'm supposed to answer?
So no, I know. So if the question simply is this: has your visa ever been denied? I would answer it yes, but then I would explain that it was approved after 221G. So this is the way I looked at it, because the 221G says your visa is denied, but we are going through some proceedings and we might call you to reopen, something like that. I looked at it, and my best guess was that answering no is the better option. However, you should explain that later on you got the approval.
So I should answer no or yes?
No, I would answer, has your visa ever been denied? Yes. And then I would say, see, if the question is, has it ever been denied and not approved subsequently? Then the answer is no. It was approved subsequently. But if the question is, has it been denied, period, that's all they're asking, I think you should say yes. But then somewhere you should find a place, whichever text box you can, just say additional information regarding question 16. Please note that I was issued a 221G, which was then subsequently approved.
Okay, got it. Thanks. I have another question. My job title in LC and the company title is different. It's from the day one. It's like that. And does it matter? I mean, if I go for stamping,
that's your lawyer's call. I cannot tell you that. I can only give you a generic answer that I don't really care about job titles as much as I care about the job descriptions. But whenever there's a discrepancy, it alerts me that we need to look at it more deeply. So I would suggest get together with your lawyers and your employer, make sure everything is in order. Okay.
The last question, Rajiv. So I work for non-profit, and there is a question. I mean, I transferred with them last year. So there is a question: have you ever belonged to, contributed to, or worked for professional, social, or charitable organization? So I'm not sure what.
When in doubt, always say yes. Okay. So now,
thank you so much.
Absolutely. Can you repeat that question to me one more time? I can't answer the question, but I can kind of understand what they're saying.
Have you belonged to, contributed to, or worked for any professional, social, or charitable organization?
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't worked for one or who hasn't belonged to one of these three? So, I mean, this is such a silly question. This is the remnant of the old communist days where they were trying to find communist people. But obviously, to me, the answer is always going to be yes. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Akshayji, I'll try one more time to pull you up. For some reason, there's something wrong. I don't know. Yeah, I tried again. I can't pull you up. Very good, guys. I'll talk to you again next Thursday at our private conference. The number is 202-800-8394. 202-800-8394, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I will also post it on the LinkedIn events. Good talking with all of you. See you then. Bye-bye.